Hell. Styx, in the pagan mythologies, that's the river that takes you on a boat over to hell. So I'm thinking now we have Lucid, which some people say, but I'm not saying it, is Lucifer's enterprise, that has the fiery red circle or ring that some people say is hellish, but I wouldn't say for sure. And then they have the new software called Inferno, which some would say means hell. And as a matter of fact, in their press release, they quote Dante's Inferno at Lucid. And now we have their communications protocols named Limbo and Styx. But of course, I would not jump to conclusions, and I still don't, even though somebody sent me this news weekly. This is Crane's. This is the cover of Crane's New York Business Journal, just recently. Now, Crane's is one of the most reputable New York business journals. And there's this little item here. This person said, Texe, you'll find this of interest, and of course I did. It says that Lucid is looking for space, and they found a new building in New York City for their offices. And the new address is 666 Fifth Avenue. But I'm sure it's all an accident. It's totally inadvertent. But it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Well, I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes. We only have a few minutes left. But I'd like to talk to you about yet another project of the corporate world. It's called ISO 9000. Here, by the way, is a booklet. They're training one particular corporation, and the employee sent me this and said, Texe, this is the booklet that tells us, and we went through all these training talking about ISO 9000. Now, you may not have heard about ISO 9000. How many of you have heard about ISO 9000? Hey, quite a few. Is it going big time in your corporation or your company? You know a little bit about it. It's quality control. It's for good. But what is it? Well, it began over in the European Economic Community, in Britain to be exact. And it just seems that the multinational corporations have set up some international standards organizations. You may not have heard of these. There are 4, in fact, in all. I list them in my book, Project Lucid. And you know, these guys just got together and decided that it would be good if every company in the world practiced quality control, had good management and so forth. And they decided that they would institute something called ISO 9000 certification. And no one would be able to sell their products unless they have it, beginning about 1999 or the year 2000. Already over in Europe this year, it's going official. You cannot sell to anyone in Europe unless your company that makes the product has ISO 9000. You say, oh, well, this has to do with the big boys, the Fords, the AT&Ts, the Hewlett-Packards. Everybody. Mom and pop, everybody. And then I remembered again, folks. No man may buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name or the number of the beast. I even wondered about 9,000. Now, there's actually several subcategories, 9,004, etc. But overall, it's just called ISO 9000. You know, the number 9 in the occult world is the ultimate occult number. Did you know that? I've studied occult numerology, and I can tell you that. Here's the way they do it. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals what? 18. And then they add those 2 digits, 1 plus 8. And what does that equal? 9. So concealed within the number 9 is the triple number of the beast. 9,000, ISO, International Standards Organization, 9,000. But good, it's linking your business to the world. But if you don't have this certification on your manufacturing facility, whether it's in the garage or it's a 1 million square foot manufacturing facility, you can't do business anymore very soon. Whether you make widgets or what, no deal. In fact, in my book, Project Lucid, I quote some top-level executives of American corporations. They say, we already are refusing to buy from suppliers unless they're ISO 9000 certified. And by the way, they send inspectors from this organization that loves your company, that wants to help you to make sure that you're qualified. And it cost approximately $100,000 just for the paperwork. to be ISO 9000. And then they have annual audits, surveillance. And if you don't live up to standards, you could lose your ISO 9000 certification. Right, folks? That are into this, been studying it? Think about that. Control. I never thought that they would have a mark on the manufacturing facilities. I thought it was on the individual. These guys got everything covered, don't they? It's really, well, it's sort of incredible what's going on. ISO 9000. Here's a couple of articles, by the way. It just shows you. Here's an article. It says manufacturing companies support quality certification. They better support it. The big boys started it. Now the little guys got to jump on board or they're lost. They'll lose their company. They'll go bankrupt. Across America, ISO 9000 certification. Well, what do all of these things mean? Does it mean that Lucid is worse than any other company? No, not really. And please don't spread the rumor that Texe says that Lucid is satanic. I'm not. But I would ask questions of Lucid. Why are these things this way? It's very, very strange and curious. And after all, we are Americans. This is a free country. We can ask questions, can't we? For a while, perhaps. But really, what about all of these things? We see then this Project Lucid, this international global computer control system. I call it the Beast 666 Universal Computer System. What does it mean for you and me? Well, of course it means, as one person said very succinctly, we can kiss our privacy goodbye. And you know, a lot of people, I have some libertarian friends, and this seems to be a big thing for them. That's what they're interested in. They don't want the government telling them what to do. They want the liberty to do whatever they want to. But I think as Christians, we go beyond that, don't we? You know, Christians are very long-suffering. We can put up with a lot of things as Christians. And Jesus said if they ask for, one piece of clothing, give them the other one, give them everything. Well, I do believe that we should be very long-suffering. But the thing that, my friends, we cannot be is ignorant. We cannot be ignorant of the devices of the devil. We see all of these things taking place before our eyes. And what we've got to do is warn others that the day of Jesus' return may be approaching very soon. Would you agree with me? This is the message. We're not out there to say buy somebody else's products because this company is satanic. In the last days, my friends, I don't believe any corporate level structure is going to be untainted. So that's not the answer. We're not out against any organization. We're not anti-government protesters. Christians will obey the Constitution. What we do is expose those people who are against the Constitution at a higher levels. And we're commanded to do that in the Bible. We really are. If this is a constitutional system, then we should expose those that violate the Constitution, because in a sense the Constitution is our sovereign. But let's go beyond government. Again, I want to tell you that the worst thing to do would be to be fearful. In the book of Revelation, there is a list of great sins. And these are the things the Bible says, these categories of people will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Did you know that the fearful leads the list? Had a good friend, David Benoit. Maybe some of you know David, great man of God. He once said to me, Texe, what is the fear of God? I said, well, the fear of God is, it's the beginning of wisdom, the Bible says. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. He says, well, then what is the fear of the devil? And it struck me. Fear of the devil is the beginning of stupidity. Right? The opposite of wisdom. Because the devil is the opposite. And folks, it's only the beginning when you're fearful. No, we should not fear these things. But we need to know about them and to expose them, to reprove them. But most of all, remember, God has a plan. These things are only small things that are happening in the world. God's plan is going to be fulfilled. And I pray, quite seriously, that it will be fulfilled in our day, and we'll hear the trumpet sound. God bless each of you. Amen.